The fog at Eelmarsh Quay. 1. The ship with no flag. In October 1880, a derelict vessel drifted into Eelmarsh Quay, a bleak fishing village that clung to the English coast like barnacles to a hull. The ship bore no name, no flag, and no crew on deck. It was first spotted at dawn by Albert Turnby, the lighthouse keeper, who watched it emerge from the mist like a coffin rising from the sea. When the harbor master boarded the ship with 2 men, they found blood slicking the hold, claw marks in the wood, and a locked iron cage, its door twisted open from within. No crew was ever found. 2. The fog comes in. That same day, a fog unlike any in memory rolled in from the sea. It choked the quay in silence and cold, thick as wool and sharp as ice. The villagers called it a bad omen. Children were kept indoors. Boats stayed docked. And something began to kill. The first to die was a fisherman whose body was found half buried in seaweed, ribs crushed, eyes missing. The second was a priest, found on his altar with his throat torn out. The third was the harbor master, eviscerated behind a locked door. 3. The constable arrives. Constable Merrick Gauden was sent from the nearest town to investigate. He was a rational man, broad-shouldered and sharp-eyed, a veteran of the city's darkest alleys. He didn't believe in monsters. But he couldn't explain the animal tracks, like those of a wolf, but far too large, found around each body. Nor could he explain why the fog never lifted, or why the surviving villagers whispered about a sea beast that walks like a man. For the girl who knew too much. A girl named Nell Fisher, age 14, approached Merrick. She claimed to have seen a man in rags crawling from the water the night the ship arrived. A wolf man, she said. But not like in stories. He had a sailor's eyes. Merrick humored her until she showed him the sketch she'd drawn. The face was clearly human, sunken with beard and eyes wide with fear. But the mouth bore fangs and the hands were claws. There was a tattoo on the neck. Merrick recognized it. It belonged to a sailor named Thomas Yarrow, presumed dead at sea 5 years ago. 5. The beast at the door. That night, Merrick took shelter in the church. Just before midnight, the fog pressed against the windows like breath. The door creaked open. It came in huge, gray-furred, soaked in salt water. Its eyes shimmered with something terribly human. And in its hand, it had hands, it held a silver crucifix. It dropped it at Merrick's feet and howled. But it did not attack. Instead it collapsed. And sobbed. 6. The truth in the hold. The next morning, Merrick returned to the ship with Nell and the lighthouse keeper. In the belly of the hold they found a journal, half-burnt, signed by Captain Edgar Voss. Its final entries told the tale. We pulled it up in the net, a beast not of this world. It bit Thomas first. Within days he grew teeth not his own. Hair where there was none. He howled. We chained him below. But he changed more than once. We all did. The sea carries the curse. Now we are all beasts beneath our skin. God have mercy if we ever make land. 7. The fire cleanse. Merrick made a choice. He poured oil through the ship, stacked its hold with salt and silver, and set it ablaze. The fog screamed. Not the wind, the fog itself. It roared like a dying animal as the ship burned, twisting up into the mist above the waves. When the sun finally rose, the fog was gone. 8. One last howl. The beast was never seen again. But Nell sometimes hears it on windless nights, a long, low howl from the water's edge. She visits the shore alone, sketchbook in hand. Merrick never returned to the city. He lives in the lighthouse now, eyes always on the horizon, silver bullets in his desk drawer. Just in case something else floats in.